We often say this: I'm not ready yet. I need to think a little more. I'll start when I feel certain. But there is only one truth. Thoughts do not explain you. Only actions define you. If you want to know what kind of person someone is, do not ask what they believe. Look at what they did today. In our thoughts, we are always admirable people. We have many resolutions and our plans are perfect. But if we take no action in reality, all those thoughts are as if they never existed. People do not change by willpower. People change by identity. And that identity is determined not by what I think, but by what I repeatedly do. The difference between successful people and others is not talent nor environment. They differ in only one thing: their standard of action. They do not move only when they feel good. They do not wait until motivation appears. They just do it. Small, slow, but without stopping. As this repetition accumulates, at some point they begin to say this: this is the kind of person I am. The reason this statement is powerful is that people act according to the identity they believe. What you want already exists, because you have decided to choose it. Hello, this is Mind Design Lab, a channel that redesigns the mind and behavior. Thought is not a starting line, but an excuse. Only action moves life. While listening to this video, please remember just one thing. Even at this very moment, your life is being recorded not by thoughts, but by actions. Many people say this: I'm not a consistent person. I always quit after a few days. But that is not personality. It is only a record of past actions. From birth, a person is neither a persistent person nor a lazy person. They have simply performed certain actions more often. So the first declaration of this video is this: I am a persistent person. This is not something said to feel good. It is a declaration of identity that forces future action. A persistent person does not move because they are perfect. They do not start because they are overflowing with motivation. They simply do their portion for today, without expecting results, postponing evaluation, and executing one action they can do now. And this attitude leads to the final declaration: I expect nothing and accept everything. Expectation creates attachment, and attachment stops action. But a person who accepts does not waver. They act when results come, and they act even when results do not come. At this point, the speed of life changes. Humans move not by meaning, but by structure. The reason many self-development contents fail is simple. They try to persuade people. They believe that if they give better thoughts, if they give deeper insights, people will change. But humans do not move because they understand. They do not move for long even when they are inspired. Humans act only within the structure they belong to. Thought is only a compass. It shows direction, but it does not make you walk. Because thought does not require energy. Thought can be done while sitting, can be done when tired, and can be done without the risk of failure. So humans like to live only in thought. Someday, next time, when I'm a little more prepared, these words are all language used to postpone action. There is an important shift here. We often believe this. If willpower is strong, we act. But in reality, the opposite is true. Action creates identity, and identity calls the next action. From the beginning, no one feels, I am a persistent person. That person also, at first, simply did one small action. A person who turned one page of a book today, a person who wrote regardless of the result, a person who exercised even when no one was watching. As these actions accumulate, at some point the brain defines it like this: I am a person who does these actions. From this moment, action becomes easier, because now action is no longer effort, but self-confirmation. I am a persistent person. This sentence is not self-suggestion. It is not a sentence that deceives reality. This sentence is a contract that defines future action. Philosophically speaking, humans are defined not by being, but by doing. I am not a being that thinks, but a being that repeats. So this declaration must be read like this: I am a person who will continue to choose actions that do not stop. This sentence gains power, not when it is said once, but when one is ready to prove it through action. Why expectation destroys action? Many people get stuck here. But aren't results important? How can you endure without expectation? Expectation is not bad, but the moment expectation becomes a condition for action, it becomes poison. Expectation always creates this structure: action, result, evaluation, emotion. In this structure, the moment results are delayed, action stops. On the other hand, people who grow change this structure. Action, identity, confirmation, continuation. So, I expect nothing and accept everything is not resignation, but strategy. When expectation is released, action becomes lighter and continuation becomes possible. Acceptance is often misunderstood. It sounds like giving up, adapting, or resignation. But philosophically, acceptance is the attitude of accurately knowing the limits of control. Do not control results. Control only action? Postpone evaluation. When life is redesigned in this structure, a person does not waver because they do not spend energy on what they cannot control. Let us summarize. Action, not thought, defines me. I am a persistent person. I expect nothing and accept everything. These 3 sentences are not separate sentences. They are one human operating system. Define yourself by action. Sustain action through identity. Remove expectation to block stopping. When this structure is completed, a person is no longer someone who is trying to start. They become someone who is already moving. Most of us do not stop because we don't know what to do. We already know. We know we should exercise. We know we should keep records. We know we should focus a little more. But we do not do it. The reason is simple. Because we try to start action with determination, determination looks strong, but it is the energy that disappears most easily. So action must be built, not by determination, but by structure. What I am about to say is not willpower, but structure. Decide the first action of the day. When a person begins a day, they already make dozens of decisions. Will I look at my phone? Will I wash up? Will I watch the news? Will I sit blankly? As these decisions accumulate, the direction of the day is set. So the most important rule of action is this. Decide the first action of the day in advance. Make it so that you do not think in the morning. For example, drink a glass of water immediately after waking up. Then read exactly 2 pages of a book. Or open a notebook and write 1 line. What matters is not the quantity. It must be an action that can be started without thinking. The smaller the action, the higher the possibility of continuation. Use the 5-minute rule. People fear starting, but once they start, they often continue. That is why the 5-minute rule is needed. No matter what, do it for just 5 minutes. 5 minutes of exercise, 5 minutes of organizing, 5 minutes of recording. After 5 minutes, you may stop. But in most cases, people continue because starting is the hardest part, and continuing is not as difficult as we think. The essence of this method is not deceiving yourself, but lowering the threshold of starting. Record actions, not results. Many people record results. How many hours they studied today, how many pages they read today. But this record often exhausts people because comparison begins. If it is less than yesterday, they feel disappointed. If it is less than others, their motivation breaks. So the standard of recording must change. Did I do it today or not? Record only this. 1 circle on a calendar, 1 check mark. That is enough. This simple record sends a powerful signal to the brain. I am a person who does not stop. Change the environment first. Humans do not live by willpower. Humans live by environment. If a book is on the desk, we read it. If a phone is in our hand, we look at it. So if you want to change action, change the environment first. Lay out your workout clothes in advance. Open your notebook on the desk. Open your work file beforehand. If you do this, action becomes much easier. Willpower is not necessary. The hands simply move first. Once a day, say this to yourself. Say this sentence. Once a day, I am a persistent person. At first, it feels awkward. You may not believe it. That is fine. What matters is not explaining who you are now, but choosing who you will be. On the day you say this sentence, strangely, you end up taking 1 more action. Because people dislike when their words and actions contradict each other. This is the power of declaration. Practice letting go of expectation. At the end of the day, say this to yourself. I did it today as well. That is enough. Do not evaluate results. Do not compare speed. Just acknowledge the fact that you did not stop. This attitude creates the strength to begin again the next day. The most important rule. Finally, I will tell you the most important rule of action. Do not try to do it perfectly. Just do not stop. Perfection is the enemy of action. Even if it is a little lacking, a little slow, a little clumsy. The person who continues eventually goes far. The world gives opportunities, not to the fastest people, but to those who do not stop. People think that the moment life changes is a huge event, a tremendous opportunity, perfect preparation, a dramatic turning point. But in reality, what changes life is not something so grand. A very small choice, a very small action, and the attitude of not stopping it. At first, it seems like nothing changes. A day like yesterday, a day like last week, a day not very different from last month. So many people stop at this point. Does this even mean anything? What will change if I keep doing this? When these questions begin to be heard, people start to waver. But most change has already begun before it becomes visible. Like roots growing underground, nothing is visible on the outside. But inside, direction is already changing. And at some point, a very small difference becomes an irreversible difference. Then people say, "Oh, why is everything suddenly going so well?" But in truth, it was not sudden. They simply did not stop. Action, not thought, defines me. People try to define themselves by thought. I am a person with weak willpower. I am not consistent. I always quit after a few days. But this is not the truth. What defines a person is not thought, but action. If they did it yesterday, did it today, and do it tomorrow, that person is already a consistent person. It does not need to be grand. It does not need to be perfect. Just a person who continues. That becomes identity. I am a persistent person. This sentence is not a simple sentence. It is an attitude of living. Persistence does not mean being fast. Persistence does not mean being better than others. Persistence means not stopping. You may go slowly. You may rest a little. But as long as you do not stop completely, you eventually arrive. The world opens paths, not for those who leap greatly at once, but for those who continue moving. Even if in small steps, I expect nothing and accept everything. This attitude makes life much lighter. Letting go of expectation does not mean giving up. It means not clinging to results. We often delay starting because of results. What if it doesn't work? What if I fail? What if I waste time? But if you think about it, doing nothing is the most certain failure. So the attitude needed is this: I act and I accept the result. This attitude makes a person strong because fear decreases. Life does not suddenly change one day. Most people expect a life that suddenly changes one day. But life changes quietly. One day you suddenly discover that you are less anxious than before. One day you suddenly discover that you are a little more focused than before. One day you suddenly discover that you have become a little stronger than before. And at that moment, you finally realize that you had already been changing. This moment is the beginning. There is no moment that is too late to begin. We often wait for perfect timing, but perfect timing never comes. Timing is made. This moment is the fastest beginning. You who have watched this video to this point already know the way to change life is not difficult. It is simply simple. And because simple things look boring, people do not do them. But you can be different. Try just one thing today. Just one very small thing. Even 5 minutes is enough. And do it again tomorrow. That is enough. This video does not talk about how to succeed quickly. Instead, it talks about a life that does not stop. If stories like this are helpful to you, please subscribe and turn on notifications to join the next story as well. And in the comments, write down the one action you will start today. That one line may become the first record that changes your direction. We are not trying to become perfect people, but people who do not stop, and we will walk that path together. This is Mind Design Lab. Thank you